on September 16, 2021. Hello all, how are you all?
Good.
Should be a pretty quick meeting. We have two major items on the agenda. Why don't we start with a roll call?
Lindia?
You're muted.
So Skahari, it looks like.
I'm still muted.
You can hit the space bar.
There you go.
How's that? Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yep. All right, Lindia,
Here.
Ben,
Here.
Andy,
Here.
and Kahari.
Kari here.
Kahari, sorry.
No problem.
Moving on to item C on our agenda. Communications and announcements. Do I need to read in this public meeting? Do you know?
I don't think so.
I would read it just as a matter of course.
Okay. There's a public meeting being streamed on YouTube and Facebook, and we'll be accepting public comments on the 269-226-6573 comment line. This meeting is being conducted electronically pursuant of the Open Meetings Act, MCL 15.263 parentheses 2 and MCL 15.263A1 parentheses B. We're in the Building Board of Appeals. Like I said, this September 16. Roger, is there any more communications or announcements?
No, I have none.
Okay, moving on to item D.
Hang on, wait. I would like to welcome Mr. Worthy. That's about it. That's
This is the first official time for
Thank you.
Mr. Worthy, right?
Yeah. And thank you for your
Yes, it is.
willingness
Thank you.
to
Thank you for
volunteer
having
your
me.
time, Mr. Worthy. I appreciate it.
Yes, absolutely. Thanks for having me, and I'm glad to be a part of the committee.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now moving on to item D. Approval of the minutes from March 18, 2021. Has everyone had a chance to review them?
Yes.
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 And can I get a motion?
I motion to approve the minutes from March 18th, 2021.
I second.
Great. Can we have a roll call, please?
Yep, Lindia,
Aye.
Ben,
Yes.
Andy,
Yes.
and Kahari.
Yes.
Moving on to item E. We have two properties for us today. We will take the property first at 1002 West North Street. Roger, would you like to inform us about this property, please?
Yes. 1002 West North Street. This property is located in a residential single dwelling district on North Side neighborhood. The property owner is shown as Evans Investment Company, LLC. Taxes are as shown in the summary. Structural and exterior repairs for this building are estimated to cost approximately $125,000. Estimated costs for demolitions are approximately $26,350. I was by the property today. It's secure, it's boarded up. Since the fire has been well over 6 months since the fire has happened, and the conditions has not, changed. There's been no permits taken out for this repair or demolition of the property. And staff recommendation would be that you find this property to be dangerous as described in Chapter 9 of the city ordinance.
Am I allowed to speak about the property as the owner?
Yes, thank you, Roger. Are you a representative of the property or of Evans Investment Company?
Yes, I own Evans Investment Company that owns the property.
Okay, can you please state your name and address for us, for the record?
Sherry Duncanson, 10089 North 28th Street in Richland, Michigan, 49083.
Okay. Yeah, it's your turn to speak.
Okay, the reason why I haven't done anything with the property as of yet is because I've had other things that have been going on too, and financial difficulty that I've had to get through regarding not only COVID, but everything. I mean, as you might know, my other property, 715 Woodward, also burned down in the fire that happened on the 4th. So I've had, or June 2nd, so I've had a lot to deal with. I was actually in talks, ironically, and this is the truth today, I was actually in talks with my broker today regarding funding, regarding to be able to fix up the property, because it would cost me a lot less money to repair the property than to rebuild the property, especially with construction costs being as they are. And so the estimated repairs that are thrown out there is about right. It's about 125 to 130 or so in order to repair the property. But rebuilding it, if it was down, would of course cost a whole lot more. So and like I said, I've been in talks just today about with my broker regarding a funding source that she's been able to locate that should be able to help. That should be able to facilitate the funding with this particular situation, with the property being condemned and the fire damage and all of that. So I prefer it not to be torn down is my hope, because like I said, it would cost me a whole lot more money to rebuild.
Okay. Thank you, Sherry. I'm gonna make a motion for this property.
Well,
Pardon?
you can open it up for questions from any of the other
Questions
board
first
members.
for Sherry?
Yes, or Roger.
Okay. Do we
I
have any questions?
I do have a question for Mrs. Duncanson. You do have insurance, right?
I can't get insurance on a condemned property. That's part of it too.
Did you have insurance?
Yes, I had insurance at the time the electrical fire happened. Yes, I did have insurance at the time the electrical fire happened, but it only covered being able to essentially pay off the first lender, the first mortgage lender that was in there. And then because of the way the insurance was worded, at least 13,000 or so was even kept by the city until I can rehab the outside of the building, and then that 13 would be released. So there wasn't enough money to get to what I think your question might be. There wasn't enough money to do anything to the property from the insurance proceeds that happened.
Okay, yeah, because I know we were in receipt of fire escrow funds, so that led me to believe that you did have insurance on the property.
Yep. But then, like I said,
have you gotten any quotes for repair?
I was in the process, but like I said, until I could actually move forward with the funding, then it really didn't. I mean, I got an estimate from my contractor when he looked at it after the fire damage had happened, and he had given me an estimate, but he didn't put anything in writing at that time. And so I also knew, and like I said, I had to secure the funding anyway, because I don't have $100-something thousand just lying around. So I have to secure the funding in order to, and like I said, most of the insurance proceeds went to the first mortgage lender. So I didn't have the necessary funds. So until I was able to get the necessary funds.
Can you explain to me what it means? The first mortgage.
Actual quotes on paper yet.
When you said the the insurance money went to the first mortgage lender. What does that exactly mean?
Well, what ended up happening is actually the property was actually in foreclosure at the time that the fire happened. It was in the redemption period that was going to expire on July 9th, and then the fire happened on June 27th. And so by the time the insurance proceeds and things had come out, like I said, most of it went to pay off that investor that was in the property at the time that the fire had happened. So, and like I said, what was left was not enough to do anything with the property at that point. So that's why. So essentially I had to redeem the property out of foreclosure first.
Okay. Thank you for the explanation. What do you have a plan to with timelines and, you know, like a timeline, you know, I want to do this by this date. We're getting ready to start getting into bad weather. Obviously, we're in Michigan.
Yep.
So
Yep. And what I did want to do is I did want to at least secure the outside, because I know that's really, you know, the biggest eyesore for the company is or for the city is the fact that you've got this building sitting out there. Now that I do know, I got a verbal estimate as far as being able to take care of the siding of the building. That was about $3,000 to be able to take care of that. And then of course there's going to be the roof and everything. I did want to be able to address those things before the winter hit, because like I said, well, with this funding source that I've got now, it'll be able to address everything. But I wanted to be able to address the exterior first, to like I said, not only clear what looks like the blight situation, but also before the weather hit. So, like I said, I'm in talks with my broker now with the lender that she literally just told me about this lender today. So.
So you think by the end of the year, you can have the exterior, what it sounds like by the end of the year, you could have the exterior repaired?
I do.
Are you doing like when you say, are you gonna do like new windows, siding, or I don't know the answer, but you may know. Is this in a historic district?
Yes, it is. And I met with Sharon, and she gave me some guidance as far as how far I would need to go, which isn't as far as you would think. She said that because I don't have to do new windows or anything like that. There is some repair I have to do around the damaged windows, but I don't have to like go through and do a full repair. And even the side of the house that's damaged, I can put that siding back to the historical precedence the way it was, but it actually doesn't even have to look like the whole rest of the house. So she gave me some really good pointers about what to do and how to do it. And it's also asbestos siding funding, so I did contact a professional as far as that was concerned, and that was where like I said, I got a verbal quote of $3,000 to do that. And then there's like I said, the roof, and those are really two the major exterior functions. Was the side of the building that's facing Staples, where because the fire hit basically that side, and then the roof on that side. So like I said, so I don't have to, like, you know, it's not as an extensive of a repair as you would think after talking to Sharon. So.
Okay, yeah, I looked at it, and I would guess that the asbestos siding probably saved a lot of damage. Had it been wood, it would have been a lot of, you know, it would have been a lot worse.
Mm-hmm.
So, but as it stands, it's been boarded and secured the way it is for excess of 6 months, and that constitutes a dangerous condition pursuant to the city ordinance, and that's kind of my stance on it. I don't think it's my intention is not just to tear down houses that are able to be rehabbed, but they do, once they stay boarded for extensive amount of time, they become an attractive nuisance for, you know, vagrants, children in the neighborhood, or, you know, stuff like that. So that's kind of where my thoughts are.
My neighbor, he has been looking out for the property as well. If anything happens, he tells me what happens. I had some issues with my maintenance my maintenance man with hurt his shoulder and things. So trying to keep the lawn mowed has been a problem. I've been able to get friends from church to actually help with that at least. But but my neighbor looks out pretty well on keeping an eye on the property. So I appreciate him. There's been like, I think there may be one instance of someone, which I did see this when I went out there too, of dragging a limb on my driveway, you know, that bumps up against the lawn of my other neighbor. But other than that, there hasn't really been any issues as far as like, you know, people breaking in or squatters or anything like that. So I've been very, very thankful for that. And I think it's because they look at it and they see how boarded up it is. And so they either don't try or because like I said, my neighbor does keep a watch out as well.
Okay, thank you.
Roger.
I'll let the board members ask their questions. Yeah, yes, Ben.
Roger, does the city have a recommendation?
My recommendation is that they deem this property dangerous.
Okay.
Jerry, have you been talking with any contractors about this property yet?
Have I?
Yes.
Well, I've kept in contact with the ones I've talked about. Like I said, the one for the asbestos siding, and then I do need to talk to someone about the roof. And then as far as the interior, my regular contractor already, you know, like I said, he's my regular contractor, so he knows, you know, the situation.
So do you know if you're close to pulling permits to get the work done?
I think, like I said, the funding has to be in place first for that. And so that's again why I say by the end of the year, because I think the funding will probably take, what's this month? This is September. The funding will probably take somewhere around the 1st or middle of November. And then after that, the permits could be pulled, you know, pretty much right then. So probably by Thanksgiving is my guess. To be able to see some permits pulled.
Okay. So getting the structure, the outside of the structure completed by the end of the year isn't necessarily, I think Roger asked that earlier, it's pulling permits kind of by the end of the year, right?
Well, it depends on how long it takes the permits to be approved as well. Because like I said, I don't really need to do much to the inside as far as, like I said, the blight from the outside. So, and also too, I have to understand exactly everything the permits. I know they need to be pulled for the roof, and I know they're probably gonna need to be pulled for the siding, and so we'll be able to get that stuff done. Then there's will be the electric permits to be able to deal with the inside. Like I said, I wanted to focus on the outside first, and depending on how long it takes for those permits for the outside to be approved, then I mean we'll be able to get to work right away. Because like I said, once the funding is there, it'll be bureaucracy and things like that hold up the work. So that's why I say that. So it would really be up to you guys as to whether or not I can get it done by the end of the year once the permits are pulled.
So if you made application for roof and siding, those are permits that don't require review. Those are basic permits. So
Okay, well then.
There'd be no time lag, you know, short of just our processing of the
Well,
application.
excellent.
So
Well, good. In that case, then the outside should be done by the end of the year then.
Roger, as the homeowner, can she pull the permits even if she doesn't have a contractor on the books to do the work?
she
And
can,
would that satisfy the city's need for, because they're good for, how long is a roof permit good for?
permitted for 6 months. And there can be an extension if there's, you know, work being done. So they, you know, up to another 6 months. So they're good for 6 months initially, then they can be extended. And to answer your first part of your question, homeowners can apply for and obtain a building permit themselves, but the trade permits, plumbing, mechanical, electrical, they would need to be taken by licensed contractor because she is not owner occupant of structure.
Right, correct, okay. So I guess my questions were, if in good faith, because I think the timing of financing and then getting in a contractor schedule is kind of, it's gonna be hard to hit that target. But I wondered if in good faith, if she was to pull a roofing and siding permit, which probably she doesn't need a permit for the siding, she probably just needs historian, like a certification, right? Or approval through the historic district for that. For the
Yeah,
siding.
for that. Yeah.
She would need a letter of appropriateness from the historic coordinator, from Sharon, basically.
Yeah.
So I
Just
just
saying-
wondered if that would satisfy the city's need for this dangerous and blight situation, because we can't, the city and us, we can't wait till November or December in hopes that the financing comes through. You know what I mean? We need to process this going forward, right?
I would think so. It's been, Mrs. Duncanson,
Yeah.
your fire happened in June. When did it happen?
27th, I believe.
Of 2020.
Yeah.
So it's been over a year and a few months. So that is,
Yeah. I've just now been able to get myself around to be able to even deal with the financing and things. That's the thing too. Is like I said, you don't want to know the year I've had. So
no,
So
I understand.
I'm just happy to be able to get to be to this point right now where, like I said, when my broker talked about it today, I thought, okay, finally I can start getting some stuff done. So,
I was just trying to understand the insurance portion. Usually when people have insurance on they use that money to make the repairs, and it sat for so long, and I was just, I didn't know why.
yeah, I
So
understand.
I didn't understand that.
And if I didn't have to give that money to the investor, then that's exactly what I would have done with it. but because the property, like I said, was in the foreclosure process, his name was also on the check. So I could not cash that check without him signing, and he wasn't going to sign it without getting his money. So
Okay.
Roger, what is the city's process if this is deemed a dangerous building to get it back? If she starts pulling permits, does that kind of reset things, or is it not?
Yeah, we've had people pull permits and sit on them and nothing gets done.
Correct.
So.
that's not my intent either.
No, I know, and I'm not suggesting that is, but from past, from history has proven that has happened. But also we've had times when the board has upheld the decision to deem the structure dangerous. And I've worked with, the city's worked with the owners, and they've actually gotten permits and made corrections and brought the property back into compliance. And then there was no need to follow through on any mitigation or demolition of the structure because they actually complied. But the order was there in case they did not. So that's kind of where I'm looking at. So if you guys uphold it, that I can work with Mrs. Duncanson, but we won't have to come back to the board to rehear this. Yeah.
Even if we deem it a blight, she still has that 21 days to appeal it. And in that 21 days, she can pull the permits, right?
That's correct. I would think that's correct, yes.
Okay. And at the
But a point of information, she would be appealing the decision on whether it's dangerous or not.
Right.
Not on any timelines.
Right. Right, but she has that 21 days to pull the permits, and then when she goes to that appeal, she can say, you know, hey, look, I pulled permits and I'm moving forward.
No,
In an attempt or to show that it is not a blight or to overturn our decision, right?
no, no. The decision that you make today is the final decision. Even if the condition changes, the appeal is related to this decision on today's date, September 16th.
Okay.
So, Linda, I think what you're getting at, she can do even without appealing. She can work with Roger and get it back compliant.
Okay.
That's my understanding as well. And we've been in this situation before, I think, Roger, in other properties where our job in this is to say, is it a blight problem property in the city of Kalamazoo, and has it been that way for 6 months or longer? And based on that date of June 27th of last year, it's been over 6 months, it's been a year. And so I think our best foot forward now is to read in the finding of the facts and deem this a blight and dangerous building. And if she gets financing in line and stuff put together, she will work with Roger, the city official, to pull it back out of that and pull permits and do work towards rebuilding the house.
Is there any other questions for Sherry or Roger?
If it's a situation where you guys do deem it a blighted situation, which does make sense. I can understand you guys have to follow the rules and regulations and the statutes and things like that. If I work with Roger to pull it out, does that ultimately, does this mean you're not going to tear my building down? I guess is what I'm getting at.
Yeah, that's not my intent. Like I said earlier, that's not my intention, is to demolish the building. My intention is to bring it back, to have it be brought back into compliance. So I have no problem with working with you to do that, as long as, if you show a good faith effort. That there's not that property. I've seen properties way more fire damage than that one. And so I understand that it's not an imminent danger of collapsing, so we don't have to immediately take some type of drastic action to bid it out and have it demolished. So that's not the intention. But we are holding fire escrow. So if it does not, get brought back into compliance with, that's why I kind of wanted you to give me a timeline, then we could move forward,
I just want to have a point of clarification. If the board deems it dangerous and gives Roger the authority to raise it if need be, then if the conditions by the homeowner do not improve, then it can and possibly will be raised. I just want the homeowner to be aware of that for the property.
I understand that.
Okay. Not that it will never be
demolished. If I don't do what I say I'm going to do,
okay.
I get that if I don't do what I say I'm going to do, you guys are going to tear the building down. I understand that. I just want to make sure that because when you had talked about this decision being final and all of that and how it wouldn't matter what I did after that, that's what I wanted to make sure that well, if you're going to tear it down anyway, then why would I do anything? So, but if it's a situation where, like I said, I can work with Roger, we can get the permits, we can get, especially some of it, doing it in chunks and things like that, getting it done, then I'm fine with that. Because like I said, I understand you guys having to do what you have to do as far as the blight is concerned, because you're right, it literally has been that way for over a year. So you guys got to do what you got to do with that. But as long as I have the opportunity to correct the situation, then I'm okay.
Okay, good. Well, I'll make a motion here. Since we've received Roger's oil report. We reviewed documents from the City of Kalamazoo building official. And we've heard from Sherry Evans, who is representing Evans Investment Company. I'm finding the fact pursuant of those things, of the oral and written reports of the City of Kalamazoo building official, and what we've heard from Sherry.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
I just wanted to say, it's Sherry Duncanson.
Sherry Duncan.
My main name is,
Sorry.
yeah, my main name is Evans, Ken
Okay.
Evans Investment Company.
Okay, so I heard him say that. Sorry to interrupt. But.
So yeah, correction on that, Sherry Duncanson. Where was I? At the property address 1002 West North Street in the City of Kalamazoo is deemed a dangerous building in accordance to Kalamazoo City Code of Ordinances, Chapter 9, Section 36. And we have heard that this building has been boarded up for more than 6 months and is an attractive nuisance and a blight to the neighborhood. My motion is to uphold the city recommendation and deem this building a dangerous building.
I'll second.
Is there any further discussion? Can I have the roll call, please?
Cynthia,
Aye.
Ben,
Yes.
Andy,
Yes.
Kari.
He's broke. Oh, I'm trying.
Eh,
Kari, are you still with us?
I think he's froze.
that's frozen. Oh,
I'm here.
There he goes.
I'm back.
We didn't hear a response, Kari.
I think he's on mute.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I may need to move to the Wi-Fi signal.
A little breaking up. Carlene, can you re-ask?
do you support the finding of fact, Kari?
Yes.
All right, thank you.
That motion is approved. Sherry, thank you. You can stick around or you can leave. Or sign off. We're moving on to the next property.
Okay, as long as not one I own.
Don't think so.
Okay.
I look forward to hearing from you. So get in contact with me.
Oh, I do too. Like I said, I literally today I heard from my broker. So you know, you will be hearing.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving on, Roger, do you want to read in 820 East Stockbridge for us?
Yes. 820 Stockbridge Ave. This property is located in a residential single dwelling district in the Edison neighborhood. Leslie Davis and Raymond Davis are shown as owner. The tax summaries are as shown. The structure and exterior repairs for the
I had to
dwelling
get off
are,
of it and reboot my phone. It's like I'm trying to leave the meeting. You guys did pretty well for as long as you had to sit through that.
Oh, stuck your
I
kid.
don't know, somebody might have to mute her.
Or let her know she's still.
It's gonna have to be IT. I think.
Yeah, I think IT would have to do that. Okay. Structural and exterior. Structure and exterior repairs for the building are estimated to cost approximately $87,000. Estimated cost for demolition is approximately $18,280. This property was damaged by fire initially last year sometime, and most of the damage was extensive damage to the upper level in the attic area. And then subsequent, it was condemned subsequent to that. And then about a few months later, I think it was being occupied by vagrants, and they actually moved into the garage and then set that structure on fire, and it's virtually destroyed. There's nothing left of the garage. So it's just it's bad, you know. So, and it was more than likely, I do believe it was arson. I talked to the fire marshal, and he said they suspect arson. So, but anyway, that's the condition of the property. Extensive structural damage, especially on the upper floors. It's a 2-story house with an attic space.
Is the city recommendation?
Yeah, staff's recommendation is that you find this structure to be dangerous.
Are there is a homeowner present or any representatives for the property?
Mr. Chairman, I've had no contact.
Okay. Any questions for Roger about this property? Can I get a finding of fact with a motion to proceed then from someone?
I make a motion that the Building Board of Appeals finds that the structure and grounds at 820 Stockbridge Avenue constitutes a dangerous building and blight due to conditions and violations detailed in August 25th, 2021.
I second.
Is there any further discussion? Can I get a roll call, please?
Lindia,
Yes.
Ben,
Yes.
Andy,
Yes.
and Kari.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. That motion is approved. Roger, is that there's no other properties, correct?
No, there's no other properties on the agenda.
Okay. Moving on to item F, rehearings. We do not have any, correct?
No.
And item G, is there any other business that we need to review from anyone?
No, nothing.
I think that ends us then. Can I get a motion for adjournment?
I motion for adjournment.
I'll second.
Carlene, do we need a roll call that?
We can, I'm not sure, but Lindia,
Yes.
Ben,
Yes.
Andy,
Yes.
Kari.
Yes.
Meeting is adjourned. Thank you all for attending. Roger, are we at a quorum then at every time, or do we have new members kind of?
Pardon me?
Do we have any new members in the works?
No, I have reached out to some of the applicants, and well, like Mr. Ford, he didn't, and then I reached out. He didn't get approved through the clerk's office. And I reached out to a couple of other applicants, and I've not heard back from them. So we are still in search of trying to fill some of the vacant seats on the board. And that would be good because right now, as it stands, if, one of you guys don't show up, then we don't have a quorum. So if you guys can put your fillers out and possibly, that would be helpful. Just, for anybody that you think would be a suitor for our board, that would be great. And just have them get in contact with me.
Okay.
But I do appreciate all of you guys being here and doing
Yeah.
this for the city.
I think that does it then. Thank you all
All
for
right.
attending.
All right,
Thank you.
thank you.
See you guys
Thank
next
you.
time.
Yeah,
All right,
Great
thank you.
meeting,
Thank you.
Yeah,
Chair.
Andy, that was great.
yeah.
Good. I hope I did all right.
I got a better feeling.
I'm gonna put Andy in for a raise.
All right.
Woo! Okay.
All right,
Thank
thanks
you.
again.